Russia says it is no longer coordinating operations with the U.S. over the previously designated deconfliction zones in Syria.
The U.S. saying it has now shot down a Syrian government jet. This happened yesterday near the ISIS stronghold of Raqqa after the warplane fired on U.S.-backed rebels.
It shows that on the one hand you have Russia and Iran and of course Syria, which are absolutely, resolutely committed to destroying Islamist Wahhabist terrorists in Syria. And on the other hand, you have the American government led by Trump, which is absolutely insincere when it says it is fighting terrorists.
Donald Trump threatening Venezuela with sanctions on Monday, promising to take, quote, strong and swift economic actions if the country creates a constituent assembly. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is pushing for the plan to go ahead in a vote at the end of the month. It would give the power to rewrite the constitution. However, Trump says the US won't stand by as Venezuela crumbles. On Sunday, 98% of opposition supporters voted unofficially to reject the proposed assembly. Venezuelans also strongly back a call to hold elections before Maduro's term ends in 2019. Experts say the results, rejected by the leftist president, seem to confirm that the opposition would easily defeat the government in any election. The vote has energized Maduro's opponents, who are now looking to ramp up their protests. The South American country has already faced months of anti-government riots, which have killed some 100 people. Maduro insists opposition leaders are US pawns, intent on sabotaging the economy and bringing him down through violence. If American sanctions were imposed, they would likely be on Venezuela's vital energy sector. White House officials told Reuters last month the administration is moving cautiously, mindful of moves which could deepen the country's economic and social crisis.
Well, for all of our lives, we've lived in a world of boys and girls, but that is changing along with everything else in 2017. In Canada, the country directly to our north, the parent of a baby successfully petitioned to have that child given an ID card with no sex listed, insisting that that is for the baby to decide. Things may not stop there. They probably won't. The Gender-Free ID Coalition is calling on the Canadian government to eliminate sex and gender classifications for all children throughout that country.
I got numbers that say 1 out of every 1,500 births, also 1 out of every 100 births, where there is some sort of either anomaly.
Hold on. 1 out of every 100 births has there is separate sets of genitalia.
Well,
I don't think
not
that's
necessarily.
right.
It doesn't have to go that far. So there could be some sort of like genetic, I don't want to say abnormality, but an anomaly, right? Like a chromosomal anomaly, that it's not so clear, meaning that gender is not necessarily based on genitalia.
Now to major questions about a fatal police shooting in Minneapolis. A woman killed after calling 911 to report a disturbance outside. Officers' body cameras were not turned on during the incident, and ABC's Lindsay Janis is here with that story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning to you, Robin. Justine Damon was just 40 years old. She was due to be married next month. She was calling 911 to report a disturbance in the alley behind her home, but somehow she ended up dead.
Overnight, a Minnesota community coming together to mourn a 40-year-old meditation and yoga instructor who was shot by police after she called 911 to report a possible assault in the alley behind her home.
We want to remember a really peaceful, lovely woman.
The woman, Justine Damon, was originally from Australia and due to marry her fiance, Don Damon, next month. Her stepson, Zach, the first family member to arrive at the scene.
My mom is dead because the police officer shot her for reasons I don't know.
The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports that 2 officers in one car responded to Justine's 911 call. They pulled into an alley about 100 feet behind her home. Wearing her pajamas and not carrying a weapon, Justine came out to explain why she called 911. While speaking to the officer in the driver's seat, the officer in the passenger seat pulled out a gun and shot her through the driver's side door. The police department saying the officer's body cameras were not turned on and the squad car did not capture the incident. Both officers on leave this morning. The community desperate for answers.
I am heartsick and deeply disturbed. I have a lot of questions about why the body cameras weren't on.
The neighborhood had 3 lights mounted on telephone poles between Justine's house and the alley. Most garages in the vicinity had motion detection lights. The body cam rollout for Minneapolis police was complete following last year's death of Philando Castile, who was shot and killed by a cop while his girlfriend captured it on Facebook live stream. A month ago, the officer in that case was acquitted.
Justine's fiance was away on a business trip when she was killed. Investigators are still scouring the area for possible security video, hoping that maybe the shooting was caught on camera. In the meantime, so many questions about what happened.
And still no excuse why those body cameras were not on?
Nope.
All right, just heartbreaking. All right, Lindsay, thanks so much.